It is a beautiful Sunday morning. Good morning, everybody. Figured we probably better do an introduction video. Finally, show you guys who I am. Kind of give you guys my introduction and yeah, basically just who I am. My name is Garrett Grantham. I'm a master automobile technician certified through ASE. Haven't had this certification all that long. Let's see here, about June 30th is about when I got the last final certifications to become a master. I was educated at Dixie State University down in St. George. Beautiful place, beautiful college. Absolutely loved the program they had down there. This is an Associate of Applied Science in Automotive Mechanics. But I just want to give you guys an introduction as to who I am. Finally show you guys my face. We'll see how this works, flipping this phone around. See, and you guys get to see my messy reloading room. Good morning, everybody. But we do have a couple cool projects we're going to be showing you today. We're going to be going over some of the parts that we got in the mail. We're going to be going over the Mustang and that new 69 F100. So bear with me. We'll take this outside of the garage. We can get started. Almost forgot. I work for Nissan. I work down at Ken Garff Nissan down in Ogden, Utah. I commute every day. I live up here in Cache Valley. It's about a 45-minute commute. I received this back in 2018. But I am a certified technician with Nissan. I am missing one class, and I will be a master Nissan technician. So, wanted to give you an update on that. Nissan, they have sent me through quite a few brand training videos. I do have to be a little bit transparent as to who I am and what I do, and there's a lot of newer proprietary information that's still privileged that I am not allowed to share. I usually do a pretty good job of keeping it legit. So we'll get on to all the cool race car parts we got sitting in the living room. Okay, so these are the performance parts that we've got so far. These are just OE. These are for the Mustang, actually. These will be going in today, but these are both the upstream sensors, and we are going to be replacing them simply because we were watching live data. Been trying to get the math dialed in, and the long-term fuel trims have been pretty wonky, meaning I'll make anywhere from, a very minor correction, 2 to 5% correction in fuel, and I'm seeing a 10 to 15% change in fueling. And what I found was driving down the road with a data monitor hooked up and a proper scan tool, actually watching the oxygen sensors. Now, these are oxygen sensors. These are not AFR sensors. These are not wideband sensors, not lambda sensors. These are the old school oxygen sensors. So when you're watching these, what you'll see, and of course I don't have anything good to show you, so I'll show you over here on this piece of cardboard. So basically these oxygen sensors are always going to be switching from rich to lean, rich, lean, rich, lean, and it's the ECM that drives that. It actually forces it to go a little, forces it to run a little rich and then a little bit lean, trying to make that oxygen sensor switch. And then with that oxygen sensor switch, it kind of has an idea of where about it should be, and then it never actually stops switching. But the problem I was getting is that these oxygen sensors were running rich and then staying rich, and they weren't switching, and then they would switch back, and they would switch, and everything was fine, and then they would stick rich again and continue to stay rich, and that was at cruising speeds. Shouldn't be doing that, but it was throwing off all my long-term fuel trims. Really struggling. Once I crawled under the car, really got a good look. The driver's side oxygen sensor, which these oxygen sensors, you'll notice, have the same part number, but the driver's side looked a lot newer, and the passenger side looks like it might have been original. We're up to 170,000 miles on the Mustang now, so it's about time these got swapped out. Also might be doing a cam and crank sensor here before too long. Hopefully I'll get to make a video, show you guys how to actually do the cam crank relearn on these Mustangs, because it is critical that it is learned so that the ECM knows when exactly to drop spark timing. And if it isn't done, it can cause quite a few issues, especially on these EEC5 Mustangs. These 2004 back to about 96, 94 is very critical that the cam crank be relearned. But that's about all we've got here for the Mustang. We do have some new rings from Sealed Power, piston rings. These are for that 69 302 F100. New head bolts, new input shaft seal for the transmission. So we ended up getting a new trans for that one down at the junkyard. Long story, basically when it went out to California, we flat towed it. My father forgot to disconnect and remove the drive shaft, and it ended up burning up that trans. The original, well, I guess it wasn't original, it was a transmission that my uncle had swapped in. But what I found when I pulled it all apart was that that input seal was leaking like crazy. We didn't bother to replace it when we stuck the new transmission in, or the junkyard transmission in, and it absolutely contaminated the living crap out of the clutch, which was brand new. A clutch disc really was only about 20 bucks cheaper than just buying a whole brand new performance clutch for this. So this is a ceramic clutch. This is not a 6-puck, which is what I wanted to do. But realistically, it's also got to be able to run and drive. It's not going to be a track-only car. This is also going to be a cruiser. This is from Zoom. This came directly from Rock Auto. Nice, good-sized clutch. Nothing too crazy. I believe it's only a 10-inch, which is what we've got on here. So we've got a new head gasket set. There's no reason for me to really pull that all apart. And then we've got these guys in the mail here the last couple of days. These are the new pistons going in for the ones that you saw in the last video that were absolutely destroyed. These are from Summit Racing. These are a 60 thousandths over. See that 60 right there on the very end. These are 60 thousandths over pistons. Nice, clean, flat top aluminum pistons. And I actually like these a lot better than the sealed power that were in here before, because the sealed power, this bottom ring here, was actually in the piston pin valley, if that makes sense. So the problem was that the oil rings actually could drain or allow oil to come up from back behind and seep up through, which I didn't really care for that design. Hopefully these are going to work now that I'm looking at this. These might be a little too tall. They should be the right pistons though. Took a good amount of time on Summit Racing making sure that I got the right ones. But we're going to find out when we go outside and actually take a look at some of this. So okay, wanted to give you guys a couple updates too real quick. We're going to be installing oxygen sensors today. Really, this is a very simple procedure to do. However, on these V6 Mustangs, a couple things. I always like to come from the top to disconnect the oxygen sensors, usually back here behind this passenger head, right down here. Same thing over on the driver's side. That's your best access to get to those connectors. Disconnect them, and then actually crawl underneath with an oxygen sensor tool to disconnect them, spin them out, put the new ones in. Biggest thing with your oxygen sensors is make sure there's a little bit of anti-seize on the threads. Just make sure that there is absolutely none of that anti-seize compound on the very tip where the holes are on the oxygen sensor. If you do get a little bit on there, you can wipe it off as best you can. If it actually gets down inside of the sensor, it's going to contaminate it. Even if it doesn't throw a code for it, the oxygen sensor is going to read off, and at that point they really need to be discarded. Wanted to give you guys a couple other updates before we end this video though, as to how everything is running so far. The cold air intake has been doing excellent. I had that pulled off the other day. No rust, no issues there, even though it is exhaust pipe and really shouldn't be used. Hopefully that will be getting replaced here fairly soon. The idle air control valve still sitting exactly where I put it, still working just fine. Still got it hooked up there, which isn't ideal for airflow. However, it seems to work. So the liquor bottle for the coolant reservoir is holding up excellent. It has been filling and emptying just as it should. We have not had any sizing issues, meaning once she gets hot, 210, 220, all the way up there, this is not overfilling, so we are a-okay with the size of our liquor bottle. As far as the AC delete goes, I don't think I ever actually gave you guys a final video, and I will make another video that's a little shorter. I went back and tried to watch it and realized that I'd made a 25-minute ranting video and never showed you guys the final result. So here it is. So this is the pulley, as we spoke about before. From where the tensioner used to be down here, the AC compressor bracket, everything has been deleted. We have direct access to the side of the block and that front freeze plug, which really isn't necessary, but kind of give you guys an idea as to what the AC delete, when it's properly done, looks like. There is the tensioner that I'm using, and I want to say it came off of a Mitsubishi, but I don't remember. I have been looking for you guys, trying to see if I can figure out what cars have them, what cars don't, and which ones will work. I have been struggling to find a good bracket, though. There have been a couple of posts on that one in the comments of people that have found them, and part numbers that will work. But yeah, she's running excellent. She's doing great. Have a good day, you guys. Enjoy your Sunday, and we'll see you next time.